Hi, it's Dr. Turan, and you're listening to The Pop. The Pursuit of Peace podcast is brought to you by SP Consulting Group, where the mission is bringing your vision to life.
Miss Mytecia Myles of Supernatural Success is here with us. Supernatural Success LLC.
Hello.
To be very clear. So I wanted to give you an opportunity so that I'm not the one talking the entire time. Tell us about who you are and what you've been doing. And then we'll jump into body management. For those that are watching, the title what we're focusing on today is body management and basically being able to increase our strength, our personal strength, and making sure that we are increasing our energy as well and our personal wellness. Excuse me for that. So tell us who you are, Miss Myles.
Wow. One, I want to say thank you for this opportunity. This is, I don't know, I think this is a divine appointment. Mm-hmm. And when I say that, I'm saying that because in this time right now, that people are looking, they're ready, they're willing, and they actually have the time to pause and really take a look at some of the things that are primary and what's most important. And so I want to just thank you for opening up the platform for this, even being an opportunity for not just a conversation that you and I would have, but more so opening up this conversation and offering this information on a broader perspective. We have a duty to do that, to not hold on and hoard information, but to be of service and to be able to share the things that we know and provide resources. So absolutely. I am beyond excited. But again, as you stated, I do have Supernatural Success LLC, which is a consulting agency. And what we do, we help our clients to win. We focus on lifestyle and leadership development. And so we work with leaders and speakers and authors and people who are just in an entrepreneurship platform or even seeking an aspiring entrepreneur. We work with these individuals and help them on projects, whether it's a conference, pretty much looking at strategically how to align their communication. And most importantly, how it ties in today is how can you as a leader, as a person that is an influencer, how can you sustain or create well-being and vitality within your own life, professionally and personally. So I have a license in aesthetics in the state of Michigan, as well as the state of Tennessee. I've studied master herbalism, and just as a beauty professional for a very long time, working on the outside of people, I have incorporated and been led to incorporate, internal, looking at the whole focus and your eyebrows ready for an occasion or your hairdo or something like that. But I am passionate about helping individuals and strategically helping those who are in leadership positions in their businesses, but not only in the business, but also in their personal lives. It's one thing to be a professional, to have a title, or to operate in a role. And then there's a total different thing when you cannot even walk down the street. There is a crisis and you are, afraid to the point where you don't know how to take care of your body. You don't have the necessary essentials in your home to pull off your shelf or even know primarily who to contact or what to do in order to sustain and protect yourself. And so that's where I come in. I could talk all day. So
absolutely. Ultimately, you are at a place where you're really looking at leadership, not just saying, okay, in general, from a holistic standpoint. But seriously, how to lead by starting with yourself. How do you make sure that you are healthy? How do you make sure that you are whole in order to maximize your potential, essentially? Am I right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because what I have found out by working in the service industry, serving from being a beauty professional or serving from being a PR consultant and working with companies and corporations, it's disheartening to see how people are not taking care of themselves. And so from that premise, the specialization came is to target leaders, because it starts at the head and works downward. You know,
Absolutely.
How are you communicating your wellness as a leader to your team?
Right.
So these are some of the principles that I focus on outside of just working on project.
Right.
Part of the project could be working on the leader.
Well, I know that when it's all said and done, I've started this podcast on being attentive to those that are in these leadership positions, being attentive to those of us are hardworking business people. You know, we're in this place of we're going and we're going and we're growing and we're helping these businesses succeed. However, you know, we end up getting burned out. So I wanted you to just speak to, when you're talking about body management and maintaining your energy, maintaining, just health and self-care, what are some of the things that come to mind, especially since a lot of people are in this transition because of COVID-19. COVID-19 for a lot of people is shaking up their world in ways that they've never imagined. And for those in leadership positions, they're not only concerned about their well-being, but they're getting so tired because they're also doing working in overdrive and overtime as well to attend to the needs of their employees. Wow. So what are, again, some of the things that you recommend when you have a leader that's in a position that is so precarious as that, and you have to really stay balanced and in a place where you are going to the healthy options of increasing your energy, because it's tiring.
Yeah, I tell you, I've had the experience of working remotely, and it was a transition for me at the time. And this has been years ago, you know, and I had been a office professional working in corporate America in the office, started with the state of Michigan back in 1998. So sitting in the office, sitting at a desk and staying in that 9 to 5, 8 to 5, so to speak, job atmosphere. So making the transition and moving to a remote role where I took my laptop where I went and had the cell phone and visited my clients one-on-one in their homes and practically working from, at that time, you could work from anywhere. You didn't have to, you were not quarantined to the house. And I fully understand, you know, the pressures of, here I am in this house. I'm to get this work done. And at the same time, the additive that you're quarantined to the house. So that's a lot of pressure that transitions and can be transformed into stress. It's not the situation. It is the response to the situations. So some of the things that I look at in my consultancy and when I'm working with leaders and just individuals in particular, we're talking about body management and what really is the management of the body, looking at the processes, looking at how are you dealing with, you know, looking at how you're looking at controlling. And so one thing that's so key and important is that you have control over yourself. You can't change anyone else. You can't make anyone else change their habits. The primary focus should be, how can I maintain and manage the processes that I'm dealing with in order for me to have vitality and longevity to even work with someone else? And how do you increase those levels? And so the problem right now that I have noticed is that pre-COVID-19, that some people were not even concerned. And when I say concerned, they pretty much went through their day. They heard about wellness. They looked at different ideas and tips and techniques. But some people were not fully into, how do I protect myself? What is
Right.
What are immune boosters? What about my personal and now professionally? How do I maintain that wellness? So what does that look like? So some of those solutions is just simply, this is going to blow your mind, getting back to the basics. It's basic.
Right.
It's
right.
really basic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Getting back to the basics. One key message throughout this whole process of body management are the basics. Some of this information people have heard before. However, now the attention is on how do I protect myself? How do I maintain? And so I want people to even look beyond that, look to the future, knowing that we will come out of COVID-19. And then there will be a responsibility. So what do you do in your personal life and as a professional? And so then you have people that are watching you. Get back to the basics. Take proactive approach. And how do you do that? You look at your peace, things that bring you peace of mind, practicing peace, looking at ways that you can influence a supernatural success shift in your own life, in your own home, in your environment. And so now people have no other choice but to take a closer look at some of the things that they have preoccupied their time, their space, their day, and into a space of busyness versus managing the body. Okay, that's where the energy was depleted. And being busy. Oh, my schedule is so full. No, you put all those things on your schedule.
Right.
There's a choice. You know, you have a choice when you put a item in your life, in your space, in your body, in your program, in your curriculum. You make the choice to do these type of things. And so the key is to get back to the basics. Because it is a result.
And one thing that people really need to realize is, and that's why, again, I wanted to begin to offer these tidbits and have subject matter experts on, such as yourself, because people separate the two. They separate what their success is, their business success is, from their physical, mental, spiritual success is. You know, they separate it. Like, if I work hard, that's going to get me success. But that's only one piece of the puzzle. There has to be a viewpoint of true holistic care, and not as a fad. Like you said, people, come and go. They pick up things here and there, and it's like, oh, I'm going to try this, or I'm going to try this new diet, or there's this new challenge to do X, Y, and Z. But there's certain things that come with what you put in your body that will either support that mental stamina, that would support that creativity to help you be successful in your work, that may not be there if you're not eating right, if you're not exercising, if you're not attending to your physical well-being. And I know that even during this time, I know that when we were speaking about this earlier, I was sharing with you how I've noticed so many more people, regardless of their profession, regardless of what they do, I've just noticed by chance that a lot of people are bringing in cases and cases of beer. Bars, not necessarily bars, but liquor stores are considered essential businesses.
Essential. How? Yeah. How?
Talk to us a little bit about that.
I'm telling you, this time, this is unprecedented. You know, when we say that a liquor store is essential, then it highlights, you know, I am really, truly, honestly sitting back and watching some of the reactions of individuals, of corporations, because what's the crisis communication? How are you communicating that your employee is first? How are people communicating what's important? Or for that fact, how are they dealing with stress? How are they turning this into one of many attributes of something that can happen down the line? I know that a fitness instructor will be essential from this COVID-19. There's so many different professions that business will be booming as a result, unfortunately, of individuals, professionals, corporations looking at this experience and not having a crisis communications plan, a wellness plan. I know several businesses and corporations who actually have a corporate wellness plan, as far as encouraging wellness. They have fitness centers in their facilities and on their properties. However, now being taken away from that, it has triggered some of the enrooted, embedded issues that a person may or may not have. It has triggered some things. And so we know that stress on the body can kill you. People can make themselves have a disease. People can think themselves and speak themselves into dysfunction. And so the alcohol is just an additive. It's just adding to the problem.
I know for sure I was.
A lot of highlights.
Absolutely. And I know that I was speaking to someone the other day, just in regards to stress management, the lack of energy that they had from the added bonus of being home with your kids full time versus having them off in daycare and juggling multiple kids. And the go-to was wine. I'm drinking more and more wine. And I know of this person who I've known for some time and working with them that isn't their normal. Usually if they have any sort of alcoholic beverage, it's every blue moon.
It's not their normal.
Social, it's not normal for them. So they were sharing that they've noticed this increase. And I know that I began to tell them about the actual impacts of alcohol on your system and how they're actually doubling up that issue. If you don't have energy and then you drink alcohol, you're basically saying, not only do I not have energy and I'm at a low, but now you're making your organs go to a low. And I know that you know about that. So what are your thoughts on that?
It's an issue from alcohol being an issue. You can name multiple different substances, right? On the effect on the body. I can recall when I worked as a Children's Protective Services investigator, how at one point the triggers of stress had me drinking, this is not a joke, Corona beer.
Wait. You said just so happens.
I had to make sure I say that because just so happened it was Corona beer, right? And so I was not the person, like you're saying, your friend, but because my inner strength, right? My peace of mind, I did not have a solid foundation that the stress, the events from the job and the culmination created a trigger. And I did not know how to manage it. That's why it's important to have a plan. To have an accountability person to build up internally. Where is the prayer life? My prayer life was not where it's at today, where it had been at that time, right? Knowing and identifying who I am as an individual was not there, the maturity. And so those are just key factors, when you can recognize, like I said, it's highlighting individuals, it's highlighting professionals and corporations. When a crisis happens, then you can actually see what's really going on. So some of the things that are important that I wanted to highlight here is, and this will be a great opportunity to speak about that, are lifestyle habits. Habits, right? Habits. And so what is a lifestyle habit? When I'm working with my clients, whether it is an individual or on a project, it's good and a good thing for me. One of the things that I like to do is sit back and do some discovery. Who am I working with? What are some of the things that trigger them to do X, Y, and Z? Some of the responses versus reactions, and just taking a closer look. And so as an individual during this time in our home, we have to sit back and monitor our habits. What are we doing? What are some of the characteristics? What are the triggers and then look at that and say, what is the vision? How is this in alignment with my vision for wellness, with my long-term vision for well-being? What is the vision? What I'm doing, does this line up with the vision? And so that is a straight path, an identifier. So people won't be all over the place, going to pick up beer in cases and things of that nature. That's not what she does. This is a choice. And so keeping the vision of wellness, of well-being in front of you, and then looking at what is your why. We hear this all the time. My why, make your why so strong that when it's time to go downstairs or go in the kitchen and pick up a slice of pie, you can change your mind. It's not going to work in my workout plan, right? And so some of the key things when we're looking at those individuals who are in the home right now and they're dealing with, how do I get more energy? How do I manage my body? And part of that is looking at, one, what's the vision? What is your why? Why are you moving in that direction? What is the destination? I always look at the end, right? Yeah. So let's just take a look at January 2021, or take a look at December 2020, or maybe the end of the week, or whatever the end of that vision is for the week. I want to this week stay off of red meat. So going and working backwards. So on Saturday, what am I going to do? You got to put some type of plan in place, because that destination is a marker for your lifestyle habits, the lifestyle decisions. They will be motivated by that vision.
Absolutely.
So those are very key things. Is maybe if you're not going to look for the whole year, but start with a day or look at a 3-day plan. But what is the vision? You have to have some type of vision to determine your destination. So you'll know that Corona beer doesn't fit into that. That doesn't fit into the vision. It's not going to help you get there. It helped me get to sleep, but it did not help me get to the vision. Okay. And so you have to look at, when you're looking at lifestyle habits, what things no longer work, what does not serve you. If you're looking at working on a project and you're looking at being more creative, then certain things they're not in alignment with your destination. And so therefore the decision to even entertain it is off limits.
Yeah.
So people have to really reevaluate its vision, why, the destination, do these decisions motivate and line up with the vision to where I'm going. You're not stuck on Friday, quarantined in the house, and this is the final destination. That is a lie. Yeah. I'm looking forward to January 2021 when we'll be in Punta Cana, having a good time, relaxing, and revitalizing as a result of all of this ridiculousness. So you got to have a vision and a destination.
And speaking in regards to vision and even motivation, I think about how a lot of people don't know where to start. I know that we've been even saying a lot during this time we've been talking so far about the holistic framework of wellness, looking at holistic wellness, holistic care. But could you break down in very, very simple terms, what is holistic wellness? And basically, why is it so important to even give people a background? Because I don't think that you can be motivated or even strategic about something with a vision if you don't even know what it is. Like, what is holistic wellness? Okay,
so I'm glad you brought that up. You talked about being motivated, right? And so something so simple. I am motivated. One of my oldest daughter, who's now my personal trainer, she reminded me, because sometimes, in the midst of a workout, I'm complaining like, oh man, how many more of these we have to do? And I already know that you have 10 reps. You're going to have to do 15, it may be 25. Just cut out the whining, right? But my motivation for doing this is beyond that moment. So my vision is broader than that particular moment. So when someone is looking at finding out what a vision is, part of that process is to want the vision, to want to do something different, to believe that something different is possible, right? And so in that process, when we're talking about holistic approaches, looking at your life, your lifestyle, your thoughts, your habits, looking at the things that you consume, whether it's intaking, foods, dietary things. When we're looking at what is holistic, we're talking about your whole life, everything that contributes to your wellness and your well-being. Everything, things that you watch on television, your time that you spend on social media, whether or not you are your entertainment, even the people, relationships in your life, your job, your career, the activities that you choose. It could be your prayer life. It could be the time that you spend serving in a ministry, community help. At the same, we're talking about wholeness, the whole piece. When you get a pizza from a pizzeria, you know when a piece is missing. You know if you got a whole pizza or not, right? Okay, so we want the whole part of who you are. And so what a person can do is take a piece of paper, draw a circle on that paper, and separate it into pie sizes and begin to identify who you are, the things that are primary, not just things that you like to do, but primary: exercise, diet, family, career, things of those nature. And a vision will come as a result of that through patience, not being anxious and trying to make something happen because you like it, or you think that it is, it will make you look good or have some type of title. This has nothing to do with the title. This is so basic. That is basic. Who are you as an individual? Your identity will determine your vision. And then it pretty much evolves from there. And then flip the paper, or I use a spiral notebook. This particular spiral notebook, right? I use this Supernatural Success, Love, Lifestyle, and Leadership, right? And I took this. This was not a pie, but more so it is a sun. So all the different rays. So I would put what's in the middle here, momentum, right? You got to keep moving. You got to have some momentum. And from this, I ended up taking one of these particular areas, and that area, that particular identifier is what I wrote on the next page in the center. And from that center, I would continue. Okay. This process is a process that I teach in a writer's workshop. I teach that in a lot of particular seminars. It depends on what it is. It depends on what the project goal is. But that particular process helps me to get all of it here so I can see it. I'm a visual person, but at the same time, I'm an audible person. But to be able to pull it out, I can begin to articulate it. So holistic is looking at the whole person. And so the framework for that, it will be a little bit different for me than it would be for maybe some of your viewers, some of your clients, right?
Absolutely.
Person has to be real and authentic when again to write down what those identifiers are. So authenticity is a key.
I like the fact that when you were speaking about it,
I'm excited.
Go ahead. I'm excited as well. I mean, I like what you said, and I want to highlight the piece that I caught out of it. And I tell a lot of whether it's my patients, if I'm doing mental health counseling, or some of the folks that I coach, it's act on it, regardless of what you know about the end result. The whole
right.
meat of it is the journey towards it. And you begin to walk towards that direction.
Okay.
So that you become even more clear as you, each step that you take.
Okay.
Just like with the diagram that you showed there, you're strategically, again, you're being purposeful in identifying what is it that you need and what is it specifically that you're going to do. And I always talk to people about SMART goals, making sure that it is specific. And how you set that out was, okay, you may have a broad idea. You're not sure yet what you may be passionate about. You may not know yet what direction you should go in. But ultimately, you are working toward it. It has to be specific. It has to be measurable. It has to be attainable, realistic, and timely. And when you are making sure that you are going through that exercise that you have people go through in your courses.
Absolutely.
It feeds that. It feeds the inquiry that people need to have, especially because if for no one else,
you're right.
Why not know for yourself what you need for you to make you be the best version of you that you were meant to be? We're talking about purpose living as well, right? So going along that journey. So I really love that you touched on that when you were talking about holistic care and making sure that when it's all said and done, you are making it individual.
The information is so wonderful.
Absolutely. So what are some, I know that you had set out the example that you gave doing this because of the circle that stuck in my mind, but are there any things for those that maybe don't feel that they
you
have?
Like that circle.
I love the circle. For those that may not have, the motivation yet, what are some things that you can recommend to help them even see how it's relevant to themselves so that they begin to foster and build that motivation? I know that's something that comes up a lot. I hear you. I know it is going to be helpful. I know that it is best. I know that I should be doing this. But what do you recommend to folks that are just really having trouble with the get-to-itness of it all?
I really, really want to say that one of the key things when we're talking about get-to-itness and motivation, it's going to be a belief system. Right. I say that belief systems are essential. They help me even identify who I'm working with. When I can hear what a belief system is, I can see it. I don't have to even hear it, but I can see it through habits, through lifestyle, through actions. The identifier of belief systems. So start with belief systems. What are some of the things that you actually believe to be possible? You have to take a self-assessment. What are some of the things that you believe are possible? What is working in your life? I remember a time when I felt as if I was quarantined into my home, and I was losing hope. I was feeling negative. I had negative thoughts. I did not see a vision. I was not thinking about a vision.
Right.
The destination was blurry. It was cloudy. And I just was feeling hopeless, right? And I recall the wise counsel of an individual who reminded me to begin to count my blessings.
Right.
Back to the basics. To the basics. Not looking at what's not working, but looking at what is working. I began to walk through my home and count the blessings. Thank you, God, for this. Thank you, Father, for that. I would go through the house, and every time I began to feel as if I was sliding or slipping into that same slope valley of hopelessness, I would begin to rebuild and come revitalized by simply being grateful, thankful, acknowledging that I was not at the end.
Right.
And so part of that is when a person is feeling as if they're closed in and locked in, being still, and to start emanating. One of the key parts of a wellness body management, looking at how to move forward in this time, is watching what you intake. Not just your food, but again, going back to the entertainment that people. I know folks that watch the news every broadcast. Are you a broadcaster? Are you in communications? Are you a reporter, a journalist? Like, why do you have to watch every broadcast? I don't know, and to each his own. But for me, I'm a sensitive person, and I'm just going to say something that was so funny at the time. It's still kind of funny now. I remember at one point, I'm not a person, and I wasn't that person who actually went to bed with the television on. I need the lights out. I can play some music. I can listen to some prayers. Right now, I'm talking about maturity, right? I knew that I was sensitive. However, I was married at the time. And so my husband at the time, he needed the television to be on when we went to sleep. Having this dream about jumping on the stage and being on the stage with James Brown, of all people. It's not my
my goodness.
And James Brown, I was just on the stage and having such a good time and going through the motions. And next thing you know, I knew that I was in a dream. And thank God I was able to wake up and realize that the television was on. So the intake, what we intake affects the mind, affects the spirit, affects the home. It affects your lifestyle and the way that you manage, right? And so from that moment, I knew the importance of take. Not only what you intake, we're talking about relationships, the people that you are around. As a professional, you're home now, you're working remotely. Okay, so how are you intaking the experience? How are you looking at it? Is this like some bad thing that you're at home? If I took a survey, I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who are glad to be at home. Subconsciously, they probably were asking to be at home. And so now they're home, they're complaining that they want to go outside. You have to make up your mind. And so this is your vision, destination, decisions, and what motivates you come into play, and how it affects your health and your not being all over the place, and your thoughts one way you want this, next time you want that. Like, what is it do you really want?
And it affects your energy as well. Going back to that, just to give an example, even though, I've been like, okay, I'm definitely using this opportunity to be able to really clean up this relaunch for my business, right? And I'm just like, I'm so excited. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. In between the fact that I'm still working from home. Okay, I'm doing that, but it's like subconsciously, I was worried about what was going on because of my medical condition. So it was this intensity of concern and anxiety, and I'd even say fear, that was working up in me, that I was in some ways doing what I always do, which I know a lot of people do as well. Those that are those A-type personalities, those go-getters out there, we busy ourselves when things are going wrong internally, right? So I'm busying myself, and I'm like, but it's okay because I'm being productive. It's okay because I'm finally, executing these plans. But yet I didn't take the time to check in with myself, which is why one of the first things that I had shared in the podcast that I did last Friday was, first things first, check in with yourself, check in with others, because I literally, and this wasn't even going to come up before, but last night, as much as I've been going and telling myself that I was going to pull it together and take some time to just do nothing, I literally had a moment where I was like, it's Thursday. Last night, I said that today was Thursday. And I was so confused until it was super late, and I'm already pre-planning in my head about making sure I'm up, at the right time to log in, for work from home, to get my laptop up. And I literally didn't realize it was Friday today until I plugged up my phone to charge it. And it was already super late. And I was just like,
you're like,
tomorrow.
What?
I was so confused.
No.
So even the best of us are sitting up here like, okay, I'm attending to my body. I'm reading my scriptures for, my spiritual well-being. I'm watching what I eat, and as I was joking with you yesterday, like I haven't opened those break open in case of emergency Vienna sausage.
Don't do it.
I haven't done that yet, but like I'm paying attention. I'm encouraging other people to do the same, but like, just like that, out of nowhere, being in the house got to me. It got to me. And so what you're saying in regards to making sure that you are, aware, making sure that you're planning these things out and that you're actually doing it, and that you move forward regardless of what the end is going to look like, if it's clear or not, but setting those plans and realizing that it's not just about the food. It's also about the spiritual wellness that gives you the grounding.
Absolutely.
And if people are like, oh, well, we're talking about different ways that we may read our Bible or our daily breads or different things like that. Ultimately, I really feel like regardless, we're talking about matters of the spirit, and we have to pay attention to it, and we have to have balance. Like you said before, the whole pie.
Absolutely.
Not just a piece of it. You have to realize that you are dealing with the whole piece of pie, which sounds so good right now.
The whole
have some pizza right now.
Right.
Tired of cooking. But I probably won't get it because delivery is so delayed. But, I digress. But what you're saying is so important.
Don't do it.
I'm not. I'm going to. But
you never know. You may be able to, cook up something in your kitchen.
I know. And this topic is so important.
You may have the ingredients right in your kitchen.
I just might, because I did just get some little croissant doughs, whatever.
See?
I'm going to figure it out.
There you are.
I'm going to figure it out. But this topic is so juicy. Like, we're at the end of our time. I didn't want to keep people here for too long. I mean, we didn't even get to do our Q&A because it's so much. So I do want to encourage people that if you have
it's juicy.
It's endless to talk about how to take care of yourself during this time. It is so many layers, if I could say it that way. So I do want to encourage everybody that's watching, especially if you didn't get to attend this by live. Again, we were here with Mytecia Myles of Supernatural Success, LLC. She is a success strategist. She is a success coach. She is a success guru, looking at all things from a holistic standpoint to help us succeed. So if you have any questions about the information that was shared today, please feel free to share. Again, if you weren't able to attend live, that's definitely all right. As you review back, please visit my website at www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. You can definitely just view the website in general. But like I said, if you have any questions or you're like, I don't know where to start, I need some help, you can definitely click on the Get Connected page. If you have questions specifically for Mytecia Myles, if you have any questions about any of her classes, you can also make a note of that interest when you reach out to my website. And I can get you in touch with her and link you all there. So before we go, though, Mytecia, you have a lot of things that are going on. Are there any things that you want to share that you have coming up with our listeners?
One, I want to say thank you for this opportunity. I think that, again, as you stated, the information is endless. However, this is a time for us to be strategic, to be intentional, to get back to the basics, to keep it simple, and to have some discipline. right? And so in that, looking at how we can communicate our wellness and well-being as a professional in our homes, whether we're working remotely or have to participate in still reporting face-to-face with folks. And so how are we communicating that? Looking at how to move beyond a space of fear and looking at it from an opportunity. This is an opportunity for individuals, professionals, to look at their lives holistic. So some of the things that we offer at Supernatural Success, actually tomorrow, April 4th, we also have April 18th as well as April 25th, an opportunity for people to go deeper through the paradigm shift. This is how to reclaim your life. And so we will go deep and have a 90-minute virtual workshop. You can find out more about that on Eventbrite. It is Paradigm Shift, Reclaim Your Life. And again, we're offering that virtual workshop because it is an intense workshop that provides a plethora of information about our methodology as relates to lifestyle and well-being. Another way you can connect in July, if you're in the Illinois area, I will be speaking, giving an advanced educational seminar at Skin Inc.'s Face and Body Expo. So they are believing, they have a vision, they have a destination, and their decision to host this particular expo. It may be virtual. We haven't gotten that information right now, but it is an advanced class, and that is strategically for spa and wellness professionals. However, another way to join right now, we have opened up registration for what's called the Supernatural World Wellness and Spa Tour 2021. So come January 2021, we will be resting, relaxing, rejuvenating, and recharging on a wellness land, a property of endless privileges. And so right now the registration is open. If you want to be a part of this tour, you can again send an email to Dr. Tehran's email, visit her website, or you can send an inquiry to supernaturalsuccesscoach@gmail.com, or follow me on Instagram at Supernatural Success. It has been a pleasure. And again, if your audience is looking to go deeper, whether it is on an individual basis, whether they're looking for antidote to how to maintain in particular era, how to move beyond it, how to set a vision, perhaps what are some herbal supplements, some nutritional information. Nutrients are not just something you eat. It is stuff that you intake, how you assimilate it, how you absorb it, and how it is properly eliminated. And so those are some key factors. And I invite you and your guests to be a part of any of those experiences. And it has been a pleasure.
Absolutely. Thanks again, Mytecia Myles. And again, you can, if you have any questions, if you want to follow up any inquiries, again, it is www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. That's www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. And again, thank you. And we appreciate all of you guys for listening in, watching, and we will be here next Friday. Next Friday, we will be here, and I want to give a shout out to Charlotte Ford Entertainment. She will be on to talk about the healing effects of laughter. So we will like to have you guys come back and join us. Feel free to share. Feel free to let people know. I usually put up different posts about the specific topics on the weekend. So definitely stay tuned, stay connected, have people join me here at for Facebook. It's the SPC group. And so you can definitely just follow us, and we'll be back again Friday. Thanks again for watching, and take care.